You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 6. It's your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, I want to thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest, I met this gentleman back at the Alabama State University around 2008. Shortly thereafter, we became frat brothers. He's just always been a cool stand-up guy, always fun to be around. He's the founder and owner of Night Eye Visuals, and I'm pretty sure you all will be inspired by his story. Let's give a warm Gumptown round of applause for LaKendrick Knight.
Hey, how you doing, Doug B?
Ken, how's it going, bro?
Oh man, every day is a new adventure, brother. Every day is a new adventure.
Yes, sir. I'm with you 100% on that, man. Hey, first things first, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me for a few minutes.
Hey man, no problem, brother. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to even want to talk to me. So hey, I'm glad to be here.
Already, man. Any day, man. You know, man, we go way back, man. Way back to '08, and just always been good energy, man, whenever we link up, brother. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool, man. So for the people who don't know who LaKendrick Knight is, tell them a little bit of your story, where you from and how you got to where you are now.
Okay. I'm actually from starting out in Greenville, Alabama, so I'm a country boy. Moved on to Montgomery. Went to school there, attended Brutech. Actually graduated, like you said earlier, from the Alabama State University,
Mhm.
and from there, moved around, working the 9 to 5. Went from Bama to Texas. Now I'm back in Georgia now, so I'm all over the place, man. Always willing to find the next adventure, and always willing to try something new. So that pretty much sums what Kendrick up there.
Oh man, there you have it, man. And shoot, what's always been dope about you, bro, is like you said at the very end, you always been willing to move around and just try your hand in different areas and just never being afraid of change, man. And that's dope, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I guess I got that from being a military brat. So hey, things might be one way this month, then 6 months from now we're somewhere else. So you always gotta be willing to adapt and just be open to whatever situation you're in to try to make the best of it.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. And even just working alongside the military, trust me, I definitely understand what goes into that, like the change of environment, the moving around. So much respect to you for always being willing to move around and not only move around, but to adapt.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It's part of the fun of the adventure, man.
Yes, sir. So as I said in the intro, you're the founder and owner of Night Eye Visuals. And um, what products and services do you offer over there at Night Eye Visuals?
Okay, so we offer event photography. We offer natural light photography with different sessions, offering from individual to senior portraits to maternity shoots, all the way down to automobile shoots. Like I just love to shoot. That so any idea that you bring, we can do my best to try to flesh that out for you and provide you with that to get you what you need in the end. So as of right now, we only offer photography, but as I said, I'm always looking for the new adventure. So as I continue to hone my craft, we'll venture out to videography from there. But as of right now, just photography at the moment.
Okay, okay, that's great, man. And like you said, you're gonna continue to hone in on your craft and eventually expand the business. And so basically, in the products and service you offer right now, you're doing photography from maternity shoots, automobile shoots. So you out there just making it happen. And one thing I will say, being a photographer, I have so much respect for guys like yourself who are in photography, because you have to have an eye for it. No pun intended on your brand name, but you have to have the photographer's eye in order to capture those moments, man. So um, I I definitely enjoy I definitely enjoy your work. The photo shoots you have done and posted, man, they've all been of high quality, man. So definitely keep rocking and rolling with that, brother.
Man, I really appreciate that. And like you were saying, man, catching that moment is part of the fun of it. That's what brings me the joy of being a photographer is doing the setup, catching the light, catching that head tilt at the right moment and placing you in the right place to show exactly what we're trying to get to pull the idea together. That's one of the best parts. You sit there, you scoped it out, you frame the photo and click. You got the right, you got exactly what you're trying to catch. There's no better moment than that.
Yes, sir. And like you just said, man, I mean, just catching the moment and bringing whatever idea the customer has to life. That's what it's all about. That's the art of photography, man. And like I said, much respect to you for what you do. So speaking of ideas, let's talk about that aha moment that sparked the idea for you to start Night Eye Visual. What was that aha moment, that life event that sparked that that led to the creation of Night Eye Visual?
So I've always been a fan of photography. I've anytime we go out to say track, when I was in Texas, we go out to different tracks like Circuit Americas. We would see motorcycle racing. I always been involved with cars. So we're always taking pictures, and I had always been styling the picture, like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And from family events, always shooting those moments and trying to, hold on to those moments. And
Okay.
then the thing that's what got my passion in photography. The thing that actually kicked off the business was I've always preached to all of my friends, bet on yourself. Everybody's number one cheerleader when it comes to that. You want to do something and bet on yourself.
Mhm.
And when the pandemic hit, I looked at it, even though thankfully and blessing that I wasn't as impacted as others, but I just took that moment to think that just like that, everything that I'm depending on coming from someone else can be taken from me.
Right.
So why not bet on myself and have something to stand on my own 10 toes? That way I can always generate some type of funds and have something coming in that can't be taken away from me by somebody else. So the pandemic is really what motivated me to finally not just do shoots, but let's go ahead and start a business and try to establish some type of maybe generational wealth for myself.
Hey, you just said a mouthful there, man. And like you said, bet on yourself. And if anything, this pandemic did, it definitely put a lot of people into that mind state. Hey, man, this check can be cut off at any point in time. I need to bet on me. I need to step out there and create whatever it is, And truth be told, that's great. And truth be told, man, that's what it's all about, in my opinion, man. Like taking a crazy event like this pandemic and taking something out of it, having some type of silver lining. I mean, I know everybody isn't of that thinking, but I commend you for having that thought. Hey, this pandemic going on. I'm depending on somebody to pay my bills. They can be taken away. Thank goodness, thank God that wasn't the reality. But the fact that you had the aha moment during the pandemic, during the tumultuous time, much respect to you for that, man. And that's what it's all about, generational wealth. I'm all for that.
And yeah, it was just a moment where I just took a survey of everything that I saw. Like, hey, I've seen people with great jobs. They knew those jobs were going to be there, and pandemic hit, and poof, it's gone. So, like you said, man, just betting on yourself, and I'm also a big advocate of walk what you talk.
Right.
So I'm always preaching to everybody, bet on yourself, bet on yourself. But yet I guess you could call it apprehensive about stepping out and doing something on my own. What if they don't like it? What if, you know what? I can only do it and swing for the fences and go give it 110% as we're going at it, applying everything that I know, and what will be will be. We're gonna roll with the punches, adapt, and grow. That's the only thing you can do. The only thing consistent in life is change. So that's where I am with it, man.
Nah, man, and much respect to what you just said, man. I mean, because and I can relate to you because I was I was always, and I'm still this way. I'm always supporting and I'm always championing everybody for stepping out there and betting on themselves and just giving it a shot. And I was apprehensive as well to start this podcast because this is something that popped up in my head back in 2018. But I sat there and I sat there. I was like, man, I don't know. Like you just said, I had the same thoughts. What if they don't like it? What if it's not good? But I had to kind of shift that thinking. Like, what if they do like it? What if it is good? What if I'm sitting on
Exactly.
something that's gonna change my grandkids' life, and I'm letting fear stop me from changing my grandkids' life, and I don't even have kids yet. It goes back to that generational wealth point you made earlier.
Exactly, man. It's actually funny because I looked back, like I told you, I bought this camera and my equipment, well, some of my equipment a while back, a couple years, in fact. But as I look back through some of the old photos I've been taking, I like capturing perfect moments, and I say perfect, and I'm using that as because it's perfect to me. It captured the essence of the moments that we were in. It from Christmas to family gatherings, just seeing pictures of those that have gone on, and just knowing that just by providing photos to someone that can provide them with either joy in that moment, something to look back on, some type of record. And I was just like, you know what? I've been doing this. So why not just step out on faith and let's go out here and just as long as I'm giving it everything I've got and doing what I'm supposed to do as far as trying to run this business and run it the right way, I feel like there is no real fail. Only thing I can do is pivot. So yeah, this has been one of the biggest blessings I've ever had, just having the courage to actually step out and having friends like yourself and others to actually not only push me just as hard as I'm pushing them, but help me stay accountable as I'm going through it and growing the growing pains of having a small business. So I've been thoroughly enjoying it. And I'm just glad that that aha moment, not necessarily the moment happened, but that I took that from that moment and made something out of it.
Yes, sir. And that's what it's all about, man. And basically taking that idea and putting it into action. And that was going to lead right into my next question. So, after you got the aha moment during the pandemic, it sounds like you didn't spend a whole lot of time um, overthinking stuff, like in terms of putting the action behind actually starting the business. So, from the time you got the aha moment in the pandemic, how long afterwards did you actually start Night Eye Visual?
So it came in. So I guess what we went home in what the beginning of February. When I went home anyway for the pandemic and started working from the house. But it was that fall. I got the opportunity to do some senior portraits, and I just thought to myself. At first, I was apprehensive of, oh, I hope I can do this. This is what once in a lifetime moment. I don't want to ruin this. I want these photos to be great.
Mhm.
But I just went out and it was like, you know what? I know I can do it. So the first opportunity that came to me, I went to it and executed. That's all I could do. So I just decided that the first opportunity that comes up that someone's willing to give me the chance to come out and show you what I can do, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. So it was just the fall where I went out, got everything that I needed, and just pushed forward from there.
No, man, that's great, man. And like you said, you got the aha moment in February and that fall, you went right to work. You didn't spend a whole bunch of time overanalyzing, should I do it? You just did it, man, and it worked out for you. And that's that's really important because you have people you have people on both sides of the spectrum. You have people like yourself who have their idea and act on it right away. You have people like myself who have an idea and we set on it for 2 or 3 years and thinking it's not going to work. Then we finally put it into action. But the most important thing is getting from the idea to the action. I'm not saying anybody has a set time period. I'm just saying this is two great examples on two on opposite ends of the spectrum. So much respect to you for not spending a whole bunch of time on the idea and actually executing, like you said.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. because I felt like I had already cheated myself by wasting so much time from when I initially bought the equipment.
Mhm.
Because I had been soliciting ideas everywhere of, hey, do you think I can? Do you think I can? Do you? And I did that for a couple years. And when it finally hit me to go ahead and start my business, I felt like it was my duty to reward myself and not sit and continue to overthink. So I agree with you there. Overthinking will kill many a good idea.
Mhm. No, no, man. I mean, I mean, man, really, like everything you saying, I promise you, I relate to it, man. Because even when I finally decided to do the podcast this year, I bought the equipment back in May, and I was sitting there thinking, man, can I do it? Can I do it? I was asking my wife, I'm like, you think this is gonna work? And I almost talked myself out of it. And like you just said, man, I I never thought about it in that way, but anybody who's out there who's holding on to an idea, you overthinking it, stop cheating yourself and start it. Ken just gave you a whole word. That's a whole gem. You cheating yourself. Just start it. People gonna like it. People not gonna like it. So what? If you have the idea, I'm not trying to get all spiritual on you, but God gave it to you for a reason. Now use it before He take it and give it to somebody else.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope that's not too harsh.
Hey, that's exactly how I feel about it, though. That's exactly what I mean. Because, like you said, that can always get taken from you to somebody else. And then you're like, man, I had that idea, but you sat on it and did nothing with it. Some progress is better than no progress.
Right. Bingo. So man, so the last part of this three-part question is audacity. So you had the idea, the aha moment, you had the action, you went out there and you made it happen. What gave you the audacity to step out there? Meaning, who were some of your influences, or what influenced you? Who influenced you? Like, who gave you the courage? What gave you the courage to finally step out there, outside of wanting to bet on yourself?
So it was, again, like I said, I've been doing, little taking pictures here and there for my family. But, every when you hear your family say it, first thing pops in my head is, you're supposed to say that. You're supposed to say that. So I just started taking cues from other people. When I say other people, I mean outside of my immediate circle.
Mhm.
I'll take a picture here and there, and they go, "Hey, that's actually a dope. That's a dope photo. Appreciate that." But the audacity kicked off from, "What's the worst that I can do? The worst that can happen is I'll be right where I am right now at the end of the day with some type of experience."
Mhm.
So when I see it, when I saw it, I was just like, "Hey, let's go, let's go." Worst that can happen is I tried it. I tried it. So I would look at other people. Let's see, somebody I admire is Calvin. They call used to be called Mr. Grind.
Okay. Yep.
I love his photos.
Mhm.
I've had other frat brothers that are that are photographers from LA to even Reggie.
Mhm.
So I have like plenty of people that I looked at and I saw, and I was like, you know what? Basically, not to belittle anybody else, but
Mhm.
if that person can do it, so can I.
Right.
So that's really where it came from. If that person can do it, can take the time and learn it and do it, there's no reason I can't. And that's what really motivated me more than anything.
Mm. Yeah, man, and just to even to piggyback on what you just said, and no, you're not belittling them in any shape, form, or fashion. Basically, what you were saying was you saw them as inspiration, not competition. You just saw it as you used their work as inspiration, and pretty much what it came down to was you just realize, hey, he's human just like me. If he can do it, so can I. And that's not belittling, man. Like that's to me, that's flattery, man. To be able to like, well, the person who's hearing this, if Calvin does hear this, like he should hear this and be like, man, like I'm flattered that I inspired him, like, or anybody else who you know who's mentors you, if they hear this, they should just realize, hey man, that's a form of flattery for somebody to be inspired by your work to actually want to step out there and do it on their own. Good stuff, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate them. And what's crazy is I've reached out and asked one or two questions here, and people will answer them. But
Mhm.
to actually see the work is what motivates me to, okay, I'm gonna get there. I'm going. We're taking it there. We're I'm excited to see stuff that, oh, I can try my own hand at this.
Mhm.
Like I like the challenge. I like the challenge, and they definitely motivate me to get better every day and continue delivering quality products the way I am right now.
No, man, good stuff. And that's what it's all about, man. Just continue to find inspiration from wherever you can find it, man, to continue to hone in on your craft and pour into the brand. So let me move right into the long-term vision for Night Eye Visual. So in terms of, so when I ask the long-term vision, do you see yourself eventually doing hiring employees or doing workshops, teaching people the art of photography, or I know you mentioned earlier that you're going to add videography to your repertoire. Um, but is anything else long term in the vision? What is there anything else in the long term vision of the company? Sorry, got word tied, tongue tied.
Oh, good. As of right now, at some point, I would like to offer like just on demand editing. Hey, I took these photos. I want to bring them to you for you to edit them. But like you said, I want to expand into the videography space at one point. But I would love, my dream is to have it so that not only is my business running, but it's become passive income on one hand, where I have another team that can go handle another event while I'm here at this event. That's my event. That's my end goal is to be able to be in more than one place as a company at a time.
No, man, that's a great end goal. Basically, to not only expand your business and have people in multiple places multiple times and multiple places at the same time, but also buy back some of your time.
Exactly, exactly. That's the end goal, to be able to provide. When I spoke of the generational wealth, that's what I meant. Where I'm now able to create the income, create revenue off of something that I love. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to get back my time so that I can do other things with it, maybe expand into another business. But at this moment, yeah, that's definitely what I want to do. I want to see pictures of us out and about with that Night Eye Visuals logo. That's what I would love to see that at as many events as possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, as we wrap up this episode, man, let's talk about the Gump, man. What does what does the Gump mean to you? What has the Gump meant to your development as a man, a business owner overall? Because and I asked that question because I started this podcast mainly because I wanted to shed a positive light on Montgomery. I wanted people who were from here or who once lived here to be on the platform to pretty much, not only talk about what they have going on now, but yeah, man, the $1 million question is what does Gump Town mean to you?
Gumptown means to me that it's home. That's where I was made. I may have been born in Greenville, but I was sculpted and molded in Montgomery, Alabama. From changing different schools, from being in the magnet program, coming from the north side over in Chisholm.
Mhm.
Uh, just that's home for me. And no matter what, I'm going to do what I can for home. So as a part of being able to just grow my business, I also want to be able to sow back into Montgomery because that's the place that made me who I am.
Mhm.
So at some point I would love to be able to, you know, let's buy some houses, let's build, take back the block, let's do all of that and not make it just some catchy words that people say. So like I love Montgomery. And no matter where I am, and I bounced all over the place. 334, what time is it? Is what for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna rep Montgomery to the end of it. And I'm hardly home, but always repping. You gonna know I'm from Montgomery and from Alabama, no matter where I am on this map. So that's what Montgomery means to me.
Yes, sir. Much respect, man. Much respect. So how can the people connect with you, man? How can they reach you? If you would, of course, I'm gonna put this in the description of the episode, but if you would just let the good people know your social media handles.
Yes, yes. You can find Night Eye Visuals, no spaces on Facebook as well as IG. And a website is going to be forthcoming. But as of right now, those are the best places to reach out to us and to schedule a appointment as well as to book us for a session.
And there you have it. Hey Ken, man, thanks again, brother, for taking time out your schedule to chop it up with me, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem. I'm glad to be a part of the show, man, and hope you can continue to see it grow, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. Well,
All
good.
right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro. Well, good people, this has been another dope episode of the Gumtown Podcast. We gone, but before we leave, remember, be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.